Hi, everyone. Welcome to If My Mama Knew podcast. For those of you returning, welcome back. For those of you that are new, don't forget to check out our other episodes. I'm Minnie. Here's Cece.
Hey.
Here's Gigi.
Hi.
And here's Cookie.
Hey.
And today's topic is El Anillo pa' Cuando. For those of you who don't speak Spanish, it means when are you getting married? Now, this mostly pertains to people who are in a relationship, especially relationships that have been going on for a really long time, for over years. Now, I'm conflicted in this topic because I honestly don't think there is a time limit for getting a ring. I mean, yes, I understand. When you're in a relationship, it's to get to know someone and to have a meaningful connection. But honestly, I don't think you have to put a time limit for when you have to get married or if you're going to go get married, especially now since marriage is not for everyone and not everyone has the same belief as long before that you had to get married. I don't know what you girls think about this topic.
So I feel like we talk a lot of shit, right? We do. And so when we're thinking about our one friend, like I'm just gonna put there, if we're thinking about our one friend who travels to her country, comes back, and then she's engaged, right? And this is within a week span. She meets him on Monday, kisses him on Tuesday, fucks him on Wednesday, Thursday they're engaged, Friday she's back here. So you think there shouldn't be a time limit on that, even though like that's a week. And then we're thinking about our other friend who is what 7, 8, 9, 10 years with this dude and still no anillo. Like for me, it's like no, there has to be some type of timeline where it's like obviously not set in stone, but where it's like, okay, is it too much? Have we been together for too long? Have we been together for too little? What do you think, Minnie?
Okay, for their friend that keeps going back to her native country and keeps getting engaged or keeps getting a boyfriend, I think that's part of the Hispanic upbringing that's very toxic. I know growing up as a child, it was drilled in me that the sole purpose of a woman is to find a man, get married, bear children, and make sure the man's happy. So I'm not sure if she has that same mentality and she's thinking, oh my God, I'm getting older and I don't have a husband with me, so I need to find someone. I think that's ludicrous, first of all. Second of all, this Hispanic toxicity has to stop. Fortunately for us, we're able to reflect and be like, that doesn't make any sense. We are women. We have to value ourselves. Everyone has to value themselves, not only women, men as well. Like the whole purpose in life is not to just find a person to marry. It's to live your life, be happy, do the things that make you happy. Now, a week span of getting to know someone is not enough time. Honestly, like I said, I think our friend just has that mentality that they have to have someone, especially since they are getting older. Well, not really older, but by the Hispanic standards, yes. I mean, just the Hispanic culture is very toxic. And I don't know if you girls were raised the same way or if it's just my family that did that. Yeah, Gigi?
So my family, well, not even my family, my mom. No, not really my family, because at the end of the day, la tía, la abuela, todo mundo opina what's going on with your life. So my mom told me exactly that. I had a timeline. From the moment I was old enough to figure out how life goes, I had a timeline. I had to graduate high school, graduate college with a degree in my hand. Then I could get married. Then I could have children in that order, right? Well, my mom hoped it was actually graduate high school, have sex, graduate college, have sex for the first time. We obviously know I skipped that one by a landslide. Then get married. No, then get married, yeah, and then have children. So I agree with you 100% that like I feel like Hispanic parents put so much pressure on us to deal with the whole marriage thing, and especially like si tú no le cocinas a tu marido, you're not a good wife. Si tú no le lavas los platos a tu marido, you're not a good wife. Si tú no le lavas la ropa a tu marido, you're not a good wife. And honestly, I feel like that whole stereotype is just a bunch of BS. But I do think there has to be a certain amount of time before you can tell if you're actually in a relationship that you could get married. That's what I think. I can't give you a number, but I don't know. What do you think, Cookie?
Honestly, in that situation, when you guys were bringing up it's an Hispanic thing, actually, I think it's just a general thing for women. Because back in the days, women were housewives and we had to do everything in the house and everything. We had to our goal was to get married, get provided, and all of that. And now this new generation is more of no, I provide myself. I'm an independent woman. I'm strong enough to deal whatever I have to deal with. I don't Now it's more of it's different. You don't think of marriage like that. Compared to me, I think of marriage is just a piece of paper. But other people think marriage is something so important, and they value it that they think like that. In my point of view, in that situation, our friend that goes to another country and everything, and she's married, and then she's engaged, and then later she does her business, she comes here. In that situation, I think it's more because she gets pressure from her family because of the fact that not only is she getting older, but the fact that she's not married yet. And they judge our I don't know if it happens to you guys, but in my family, they judge you really bad if if you have a kid before marriage. So they're going to be like, what? You had a child before marriage? That's crazy. That's lunatic. And I think that's the worst thing to do. But again, like I said, like you guys said, it's an Hispanic thing and a general thing of a lot of family because we are women.
I stand by the firm saying, damn if you do, damned if you don't. I mean, coming from the Hispanic culture, when I went to visit my mom in her country, I was young. I was about 20 years old, and everyone was looking at me like a freaking weirdo when I told them I am 20 years old, I have a job, and I live by myself. People thought I was speaking Chinese rather than Spanish because it was completely unheard of that a woman is independent without a person next to her, a partner, a man, a husband, whatever, or without the support of her family. But I also get the other side of it being here. My mom, when again I was 2021, she comes up to me and she's like, so when are you gonna settle down? And I was like, what you mean? She's like, you're 21 years old. It's time for you to settle down and have a husband. And I was like, no, I'm good. I'm fine just watching cartoons, being at home, doing nothing, doing whatever I want. I haven't found the person I love yet. And she told me being married or having a partner is not about being in love. It's about being with someone who will support you. And I was like, I don't understand that. That's not my way of thinking, because if I do that, am I gonna wake up every single day for the rest of my life hating the person next to me? And I got into an argument with my mom about this. So damn if you do, damned if you don't. What do you think, Gigi?
This bitch just said she's gonna spend the rest of her life watching cartoons. I can't with you, Minnie. I really can't. Like, what the hell? So honestly, I feel like no matter what we do, we're expected to do things a certain way, right? And that goes back to that double standard shit, the society we live in, and all that other bull crap. And I agree with you 100% that I don't know why many Hispanic families give you that advice that you shouldn't get married for love. That when you find someone, that sometimes it's for convenience, that for this, for that. Like me, for example, I'm married and I've been married for, when the hell is my wedding? Oh, y'all got drunk as hell. 2018. There we go.
13.
October 13, 2018. So I've been married. What freaking year are we in? I think COVID just messed with my head. I don't even know what year I am or what year I'm not in. So I've been married for almost 3 years, and my husband doesn't doesn't have papers. So he told me, I remember when we started trying to get together, when we were engaged and everything else, people told me to run. People told me, oh, don't worry that because you love him, it's gonna be so complicated, this and that. So just find someone else. I even had a family friend who's a lawyer tell me you might as well find someone else because he's gonna make your life impossible. And at the end of the day, like, I got married for love and I'm happy every day, even though sometimes he drives me insane. But I'm happy and I can't complain. So like I feel like I don't know if it's a Hispanic thing. I don't know if it's because our families ended up how do you say this? Just getting what was given to them, accepting what was given to them instead of looking for what they actually wanted. And I think it's a bunch of bullshit. Anyone that tells you you can't marry for love or you shouldn't marry for love, Obviously don't set your super standards super freaking impossible like Minnie. You have to be 7 feet tall, 20-inch dick, be able to lift me but not too high, white hair, white person, blue eyes, blonde hair but not too blonde, but maybe a little blonde. So don't put your standards like Minnie, because yes, you're gonna be the cat lady, or in her case the dog lady, by the time she's 40. But at the end of the day, I think you should look for love, and obviously adjust. Just be happy. Honestly, be happy. Don't let anyone else tell you what you need to do to be happy, unless you're Minnie and have like super ridiculous standards and your dude is like made in a Photoshop factory. I don't know what. Yeah, Cece, what do you think?
You know, everything you guys said is right, but if you think about it, growing up, our parents didn't have really a choice. It was mostly of you know, how they do to us, like this is what you need to do or this is what you need to follow. So they want to engrave that to us, and I've noticed that with a lot of you know, Hispanic, like you said, Hispanic or just in generalizing. There's a lot of things that I've spoken with my sister, for example, and she's like, oh, you know, back then it's like, oh, if they were able to provide for you or help the family in any type of way, money wise, or you know, just a status, or like como dicen en los hispanos, estás aclarando la familia, you know, you're making your family better if you get with someone whiter or things like that. So seeing that as growing up, I've been told the same things with you, but not by my parents. My parents didn't really care. They didn't get married, and so, and both of them were like, if you don't want to, you don't have to. Because I always said it, I don't want kids and I don't want to get married. I still haven't gotten to the point that I've chosen to be like, okay, I could settle down, and try to make a family or get married eventually. But my sister, she's always like that. Oh, you should find someone that kind of betters you, or like betters the family, or helps you like financially, or just like a status type of thing. And it's like, why? Why do we need that? You get me? Not everybody has the same possibilities that we have, but they might have a better heart, a better family background, like just siendo humilde, ¿me entendés? So that little things kind of does bug me, but I can go back and see, or families didn't have that opportunity, so maybe that's why they're trying to push it to us, but it doesn't come in the right way, you know, from the right place.
Okay, that way of thinking for me, I think is so archaic. I mean, like I said, my family tried to instill that in me. And what you said about bettering the family, yeah, my dad tried to instill that in me too. I mean, he went up to my mom and told her, I made your race better just because I'm white. He's white and my mom's dark skin. So he literally went up to her and told her, I made your race better. So I think it's just a lot of racism, a lot of sexism. I'm so glad we live in this day and age that we're pushing boundaries and we're pushing these archaic stereotypes and these thoughts that are no longer relevant. Honestly, nowadays anyone could be anything they want to be. And you don't need someone next to you, and you don't need those harsh ideas. What do you think, Gigi?
First of all, Cece, let me tell you, your sister hit the husband jackpot. That man is not bad looking. He got money. And honestly, I feel like so many people are saying exactly what you said, que mejoraron la raza. Because at the end of the day, like, I don't know, I feel like we Hispanics are racist too. I don't know, we're like all over the freaking place. We're racist. If it's not our way, we're not happy. But at the end of the day, I think like we have to do what we want. And like you said, Minnie, we're pushing so many boundaries that women were not pushing before. And even a lot of things like LGBTQ, all that other the Black Lives Matter movement, everything. We're actually getting things done that haven't been done before. And I feel like this is a time for us to accept it. But at the end of the day, like personally, when we talk about how long should someone wait for a ring, I think if you're like in a 10-year relationship and you guys have discussed marriage before, but there's still no anillo, I think you should run. Because honestly, I understand marriages and everything. I understand that, like Cookie says, marriage is a paper. But at the end of the day, if it's something if you've discussed with your partner before, and you both agreed at some point that yes, we should do this, I do want to do this, whatever, and it's like 10 years and you still haven't gotten anything, bitch run. Now, if it's a week and the nigga's proposing to you, bitch run. Why? Number one, clingy. Number two, bitch, I don't know you. So why the hell are you asking me to marry you? Like, no. And I honestly, and this is a question I want to ask you ladies too. Like, do you think a couple should get married before they live together? Yes or no? What do you guys think?
I think it depends. If it's long term, like if you've known the person, you're 24/7 with them. I don't think like it really matters because you basically, you're with them 24/7. But if you're with someone that you don't see very often, and your work or your schedule is like opposites, I would say yeah, try to give it a shot. And depending on how long you've been, for me at least, I think once you hit the 4 to 5 year mark, you should know if you're gonna get engaged. At least, after that, it's like, is it really gonna happen? Or are we just playing the long way game and see if it actually gonna happen? Because I don't know if you guys think about this, but after you hit a certain mark, let's say 10 years, there's couples, they actually get married. And after that, just give it a month or a week, and they're like, okay, it's not working out. They get divorced. And they've been together for, half of a decade or a decade. And then, or there's couples that actually, make it work. But that's, for me, it's a rare chance. I've seen people get married after 10, 11 years and give it 6 months and they're already divorced.
And this whole situation, I'm sorry to tell you, Cece, nah. If we're not living together, I ain't gonna marry you. I need to know your habits. I need to understand you, because let me tell you, honestly, in that situation, I think a lot of people fail, because imagine if you never lived with each other. You don't know what he likes and dislikes. So it hits that point where like you're gonna have differences and you're gonna have issues. Like later on, and I don't want that. I want to know exactly what's going on. Like I need to understand who you are. Yeah, Cece, what you gotta say?
That's what I'm saying. But if you're with your boyfriend 24/7, you practically are glued together, and you don't necessarily live together, but you're spending time together, so you're gonna know most of their things.
The thing here, if you're 24/7 together, that's because you guys live together. Because there's no way that you can be 24/7 with somebody and not live with them. Because I can only imagine that the only way that you can be 24/7 if you're a teenager. You have no job, you have nothing to do, you don't have to worry about nothing, but you're a high schooler, a middle schooler, elementary school, whatever it is, that's an easy time, because guess what? You're not doing nothing. You can spend together 24/7, but as an adult, you got a job. You got things to do. You got appointments to deal with. You got family issues that you got to deal with. You need to live together to understand each other. That's how I see it. I'm sorry. This topic just.
All right, hold up. I know. Hold up. If you in elementary school, you shouldn't be getting married in the first place. I'm sorry. Bitch, get your ass back to preschool. Go back to learning your ABCs. You do not need to get married at that time. Thank you very much. Yeah, Minnie, what's up?
I agree 100% with Cookie. I'm sorry, Cece, but when you were saying you're 24/7 with your significant other, two things come to mind. One, clingy as fuck. I am sorry, that is clingy as fuck. Partners need their own personal space. I don't care how in love you are, but you need your personal space. You need to go have some alone time with your friends. You need to go have some just me time. Like, you can't be 24/7 with a person. Second of all, when you are at home, you are a completely different person than when you're out with someone. Okay, home is home. That's the time where you can be 100% you. Whether that's walking around the house naked 24/7, whether that's drinking out of the milk carton and not giving a fuck, whether it is just laying on the couch the entire day with pizza crumbs all over you. Like, you need to know a person. And like, someone may be like me, OCD to the fucking max. So if you leave something slightly crooked, I'm gonna explode. Like, I'm gonna fucking explode. So it's little things that you will not catch until you're physically living with the person.
Not even little things, bro. So I'm married, right? So before I got married, I moved in with my boo at that time. Well, not my boo at that time. My boo permanently, because by then he wasn't my lover. He was my boyfriend for a couple years. So los pedos, bro. You gotta get used to how many times your man cagas a day, caga a day. Like my man, I'm sorry, I love my man, but that nigga can spend hours pooping. And that's normal for him. And you don't know that. I'm sorry, but when you go on dates and stuff like that, it takes a certain level until your significant other gets comfortable to fart around you. Something as simple as farting, right? I usually blame it on the person next to me, but something as simple as farting is already complicated. So imagine you trying to marry someone that you think you know, who's been holding in his gases while y'all are on dates and shit, or while y'all hang out in the house. But then man, I saw a video the other day of this guy literally walking out, and it said my boyfriend was meeting my dad, so he went outside to fart, and the Ring camera recorded him because his fart was so bad they thought it was movement. So let's be honest, you don't know the nigga unless you live with him. That's what I think, because at the end of the day, just like Minnie and Cookie said, they have so many quirks. Like I said, my husband, thank God I have 2 bathrooms in my house, because if not, I'd never be ready in time, because my husband can spend 3 hours pooping, or that he says he's pooping and he's staring at his phone. So honestly, I feel like you don't know someone until you actually live with them, like what they do, what they don't do. Even something simple, how the hell do they sleep in bed? Because one thing is cuddling after sex and all that other stuff, but when a nigga's really asleep, them niggas tienen las piernas toda abierta, and you're in the little corner over there. Watch out, they'll throw you off the bed. Like, you don't even know if they snore. Like, I feel like the same thing with girls and guys, that we kind of like filter it in our relationships. But then when we get comfortable, forget about it. I let it all out. All I say is, excuse me, perdón, and you hear me fart, my husband's already knows. So I feel like you can't know someone for real until you live with them. That's what I think. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I feel like those people that get married before they move in, I don't know. I don't know how they do it. And if y'all know a successful relationship that did it, God bless them. Yeah, Minnie?
So I'm going to be a little bit controversial right now. You guys know how it took me forever to watch the Disney Princesses movie and why I hate them so much. Just because I think that even from a young age, it's been instilled, oh, you're going to meet the love of your life, and within you're going to fall in love on love at first sight, and you're going to live happily ever after. That is bull fucking shit. Okay? It doesn't matter how long your honeymoon stage is. You're always going to end up fighting. You're always going to have disagreements. I mean, it's just finding the right person to go through all of that. And you don't have to settle for the first person. You can take your time and meet different people and see who the right fit is for you. I don't know what you girls think.
In that situation, I will have to say, sometimes it also depends, because let's just say you're with a person for 7, 6, 5 years and you're waiting for a ring. Also, I feel like in that situation, it also depends on the man, because if a man really wants to marry you, he'll marry you. There's no buts, no if, no nothing. There's like, yes, this is the woman I'm going to marry, and this is the woman I'm going to stick for the rest of my life. Because look at Gigi. She was with her husband, what, 4 years? Probably. I don't know, Gigi. Was that long?
I don't even know what year I'm in now. I can't help you there. Because remember, at first he was my lover, then he was my official boyfriend, and then we were engaged. So I can't tell you a time right now. I have to do the math.
But you see, she's been with him for a long time, and her husband was like, this is the one. This is the woman I want to be with. Look at the different phrases that they've been to, like lover, boyfriend, husband. And this is the part where like a lot of people need to understand that if even when a guy actually proposes to a woman, also sometimes women will say, no, I don't want to. You get me? They'll put them. I don't know if you guys seen videos where a guy proposed and made a big whole show for the woman, and the woman was just like, nah, in front of everybody. And this is where I feel like if you don't live together and you guys don't know each other all the way, and you don't communicate with your partner about this, I think that's where it goes downhill.
I love what you said. If a guy wants to marry you, he's gonna marry you. I honestly think that yes, there has to be a certain, like, I can't say we'll get married in like 2 months, 3 months. But I do feel there has to be like some type of years between you guys in order for there to be like something serious, if that makes any sense. But at the end of the day, like if, like I said before, if you discuss marriage and it's been 10 years and there's no ring, no, I wouldn't stay. I honestly wouldn't. Because at the end of the day, it was instilled in me that yes, to me, I think marriage is very important. And just like Cookie says, sometimes it could be as insignificant as a piece of paper. But what I don't understand, and maybe you guys can explain it to me, is that how that couples that have been together for 10 years and then decide to get married all of a sudden feel like in marriage it didn't work out. Like that makes no sense to me. Like if marriage is just a piece of paper, why is it so fucking complicated that for relationships for like 10, 20 years when they finally get married, 2 months later they're done? What do you think, Minnie?
I just think that the word marriage holds a lot of pressure, and like it's a mental thing, like just having the title of married. So now you have to go through all the changes, bank wise, name wise, whatever wise. I just think it's the mentality that, oh shit, now I'm married. Now I the mandatory split things with my significant other. What's under my name is officially under their name. It's just that mentality of you're bound to it creates a lot of pressure in my mind. I'm the type of person that I'm okay with it or not. Like if I'm in a relationship of 10 years, for instance, and I'm super happy and I'm in a state where I'm super happy with this person, I don't need the title of married to continue. I mean, I want to be as happy as I can. And if that means not being married, that's totally fine. Because at the end of the day, if they're happy and I'm happy, why do I need just a title?
All right, now let me ask you this, and hopefully I say this word correctly. What about those marriages that go into their marriage with a prenup? Is that how you say a prenup?
Yeah, it's a prenup.
What?
So a prenup basically states that whatever is theirs before marriage will continue being theirs. There's other stipulations that you could put. I don't necessarily agree with prenups just because in my belief, it just means that there's a level of distrust that you may think this person's only going to be with you because of money, or it could be a safety net that you're ensuring that money or whatever is not going to interfere with the love or the marriage or whatever. But for me, I just find it to be a level of distrust.
Okay, so prenup for me, important. I don't care. Like, I don't care if I trust you. I don't care if I love you to death. I don't care if we're married or not. Prenup. Prenup is a thing. For me, it is because I talked to my partner about it and I told him, is it okay for you and me to sign a prenup? And he's like, yeah, I'm down to sign that. And I'm like, okay, perfect. You know, it's a communication in that situation a lot, because I think just like I was telling my partner that, I don't care if we get married or not, honestly. And if you do propose and you ask me for marriage, please don't make a big wedding. I don't want to waste money on a big wedding. Just, take me to court and we sign paper. That's it. And prenup paper, whatever you want, just do that. Because in the end of the day, you don't know what's going to happen in the marriage. Because remember, nowadays, divorce is a high percentage. It's not like before, back in the days, you hated this person, you stuck with this person for life. No, it's now like people are like, no, I have freedom, I have rights. I can let you go anytime I want. Once you mess up, that's it. What about you, Cece?
I mean, I think a prenup, depending on the situation, it's a good idea. For example, if your parents left you an investment or some type of money or something, just in generalizing it, like it could be anything, it could be a house, just anything, it came from your parents and you get married and, people change during divorce. People change during those aspects of themselves. You could have been like, oh, that's not the type of person that he is or her or she is. She's not gonna fight for that thing. But when divorce comes in and they know you got money and they know you got things, and the sad part is to think about it is that, you know, your parents or somebody gave it to you as a gift, and you're gonna lose it just because of someone being petty or someone being, you know, ungrateful, knowing that they're not gonna come out with something at the end. So in certain situations, I do think a prenup is a good idea, depending on what you have and where it's coming from.
I never thought I'd say these words coming out of my mouth, but I do agree with Minnie in some sense, because I feel like when you go into a marriage, it's because you want to build a life with that person, because you want to. I never signed a prenup. Then again, if I did, like, I don't got a lot of shit my husband could take anyway, so he can take one dog and I'll keep the other. That's fine. But still, like, I feel like a prenup is like saying, okay, this might fail, and this is my safety net if it fails. Like, I feel like if you're getting married and you're signing a prenup, then you're opening up yourself to thinking it'll possibly fail. So I do agree with Minnie in that sense, that I feel like there is a level of distrust if you are signing a prenup in a marriage.
Honestly, that all depends on the person's mentality. I honestly have to say that, because compared to me, if I bring up the prenup and he brings up the prenup, like I said, I had me and him communicated. So to the point that we both agreed, yeah, we signed the prenup. But I think that's all the mentality of a person, because if you believe a prenup is gonna make your marriage fail, that's on you. Because I'm full confident that my marriage is not gonna fail just because me and my partner talked about it. It's just me want to be cautious just in case, because once again, over the years, people do change, their feelings do change, people think differently over the time, and we can't judge somebody if they don't want to be with you anymore. We got to move on, and we want to take care of we want to take care of our stuff. You know, if you bought a house with your money, with your name, and you didn't put your partner, then what are you gonna do? Let's just say you didn't sign the prenup. What's gonna happen? The person's gonna take half the house. Now what's gonna happen? What happens if one of you want to sell it? Now you guys are gonna have an argument back and forth. This is my thing, because once again, you still don't know somebody's true color even after you're married. Even as long as you've been together for 10 years, you still won't know this person all the way. Because remember, people change over the years. And that's where a lot of people need to think about. What about you, Mini?
But I think that's why I stress the fact that you can't get married upon just meeting a person. You have to know them in and out. And it's about the circumstances and the situations that you go through. Okay. You have to go through the good, the bad, the ugly, and the horrible for you to honestly know a person or know where their mindset is. So that's why a couple could be together for 10 years. And once they get married, things change because they weren't going through the good, the bad, the ugly. They weren't going through the mundane things like, let's pay bills. How do we split this? How do you do this? How do you do that? Why are you doing this? Why are you not doing that? So you really have to get intimate with the person, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally as well, before you could take that decision and be like, okay, this is the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with. But yes, things happen, people change, and you could be together for 10 years, be married for 5, and then be like, I realized that we're compatible, but we don't share that love anymore. So let's split up. So anything could happen, but you can't rush knowing if you're going to get married. I honestly think that the more you take your time, the more circumstances, situations you're in with a person, the better understanding you have if you're compatible for marriage or not. That's what I think. Yeah, Gigi?
All right, one more question for you guys. What would you tell someone? Well, this is a two-parter. What would you tell someone who's been with someone for a month and decides they want to get married? And what would you tell someone who's been waiting 10 years for the ring and still nothing? So who wants to go first on my two-part question? I feel like I'm in school again. Yes, Minnie?
In the words of Elsa, you can't get married to someone you just met. Honestly, I think a month is not enough time to truly know a person. And that's why I get aggravated with our friend that keeps getting engaged after only being a week in her native country. You can't honestly. And I know it's different for every relationship. Some people think they've fallen in love and know each other by heart just after meeting each other. But honestly, it's not that I'm giving a time limit. I'm just saying back to what I said before. You have to go through the good, the bad, the ugly, and the horrible to truly know a person. And for the person waiting the 10 years, I mean, is that what you want? Are you happy? Are you okay with that? Have you communicated with your partner? And I say partner because I'm okay with every type of relationship. As long as you're happy, I don't think the end goal is just waiting for a ring. Because honestly, I don't think anyone's goal in life should be, I have to get married. I have to, have to, have to. I just think as long as you're happy, you're going to be okay.
I agree with you 100%, but there's girls, women that fantasy that, you get me? There's people like they fantasy getting married, like the big white dress, the party. So if that's something that you want for someone that's waiting the 10-year mark, you need to ask yourself if you want to wait longer, or is your partner actually gonna propose anytime soon? And if not, just sit down, have a grown-up conversation, and let them know how you feel, and if their plan is to propose in the next 6 months, 2 years maybe. But it has to be very raw and open. And if you don't get the answer that you want, then you gotta decide if that's the right relationship that you want to be in. Because like Cookie said, if they want to marry you, they're not gonna wait 10 years, because they could leave you right now. You could be 10 years with them, and then they meet someone in the next 6 months, and by 3 years they could be married already. So yeah, just have a grown-up conversation and figure it out. And for someone for a month, that's too short. That's just something that's gonna explode on your face. You're gonna regret it, and you might not, but most of the time, you don't know who you're dealing with. So it's better just to take your time and actually get to know that person.
In that situation, long relationship, people who have been waiting, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, I don't care how long you've been waiting. In that situation, if you're being manipulated, please don't fall for it. Read the red flags, please. Because if you have an argument and the person comes out of nowhere and they're like, oh, I was about to propose to you, in that situation, that's a red flag. That's somebody giving you an idea. And then later, if you're also waiting because you're not being manipulated, in that situation, I recommend to talk to your partner, because it makes no sense that you guys are so long and not married. And I think that's where you really want to talk to your partner and see what this person wants to do in the future life. Because unless you guys agree that you don't want to get married at all and you guys want to be together forever without no marriage, no paper, no nothing, then that's on you guys. But if you really want to be married and that's your fantasy of getting married, think about it. Are you willing to wait? Are you either like, did you speak to your partner about it? Communication is a big thing. And then those who are going to get married in a month, I recommend to be careful, because there's also red flags in that, because of the fact that you don't know this person. You don't know if this person is an abuser. You don't know this person's attitude. You don't know anything about this person. And the fact that there are people, I'm not going to lie, there are people who get married in 6 months and they're like happy together for like life. But that's very rare. That's not easy to find, because I've seen it happen where people get married in short time and they last forever. But again, those are miracles. Those are rare. Those are once in a blue moon type of relationship.
So honestly, I like what was said here today, especially because we went at it for a little bit. So far I'm the only one married in our group. Hopefully Cookie's next. And Cookie, you better have I don't give a fuck if you got a court wedding, but you better do something so I can turn up, bro, because you were very turned at my wedding. And I feel like we should return the favor. So honestly, I feel like I honestly love like hearing from all of us, because at the end of the day, we've all been friends for so long. We've all came from different backgrounds. We're all Hispanic at some point, and it's kind of good to hear that, like, at the end of the day, our parents kind of put us through the same misery. My mama, especially my mama, told me I had a timeline and a way I needed to get married, engaged, and all that other stuff. And when I didn't do it the way she did it, she was upset. And honestly, if my mama knew the whole thing, I think she'd be even more upset, but she don't even know all that. So at the end of the day, I just feel like you have to appreciate who you are in a relationship to figure out, is this relationship worth it for you? If it's been 10 years and you're still waiting for a ring, my love, figure it out. Because like Cookie said, if that person wants to be with you, they will be with you. And if that next step to the relationship is marriage and they haven't done it, then maybe there's a reason why they're holding back. And especially if they're manipulating the shit out of you, that they tell you, oh, I know you broke up with me, but I was so close to propose. That shit pisses me the fuck off. Like, no, nigga, you're not gonna use that double shit on me, because if I broke up with you, it's because you fucked up, and then you're telling me, oh no, we're good. The thing is, I was gonna propose to you, but now that you broke up with me, I can't. Like, I feel like that's just some manipulative ass pussy shit. If you are a man, or if you wear the pants in your relationship, don't be manipulating people. Either say, I'm gonna marry you or I'm not. I'm just there for the pussy. Simple as that. Grow some huevos. Like, honestly, that just pissed me off. And I feel like, especially since that happened to one of our close friends, and the way he said that, I almost wanted to cut his huevos off, but I wasn't allowed to. At the end of the day, I feel like you need to figure out where the hell you are in your relationship. And if you think that person at one point is gonna make you his husband, his wife, and he hasn't, then why the fuck do you think he hasn't?
No, I think you're right. Like, you get me? And that's one thing about, like you said, our friend, that I still don't get it, because when they actually broke up and he was gonna propose, they got back together and he still hasn't done anything. So it's like, are you actually planning to? One thing is saying it, hey, I got the ring and I was gonna propose. I don't even think he ever got the ring or he ever was gonna propose or anything, but he doesn't have a better chance of probably getting someone like her, or she does a lot of things for him that he's gonna end up losing. And that's the only way of restraining her, basically. You get me? Keeping her back, holding her and everything. So if, like it's like you said, it's better to talk it out after a long time if that's something that you really want, and that's something that you expect in the long run, a marriage. A lot of, like I said, a lot of women actually fantasize about that and expect that in their lifetime. Sometimes, like, we get pushed, to get married and to do this. A lot of people actually want to get married just because that's their dream. So just follow it, follow your heart and talk, even if shit goes down. Al final, si uno no está feliz, tampoco no, el otro no te va a llevar ni a los talones.
Like I said before, some people do get manipulated, and that sucks in that situation, because they have this idea of like marriage is a wonderful thing to do, and not every marriage is wonderful. Some people have to go, you either go the nice, hard, whatever it is, there's arguments, discussions, everything, dislikes, likes, and not everybody's the same in that situation. And I will give you a story of mine. Like, at the fact that I was with the person for almost 6 years. You get me? I was engaged to this person. And the only reason, I honestly think the only reason why he proposed to me was because he messed up in a situation. And he's like, oh, if I don't propose to her now and I don't show that I want to marry her, she's going to leave. And there's situations like that. And that's up to the woman if she wants to stick with it or not. I'm not gonna lie, I did say yes to the ring. And guess what? Over time, I kept asking myself, is this somebody I want to marry with? Do I see a future with this person? Do I want kids with this person? Do I see myself growing with this person? These are questions that you want to ask yourself before you say yes to the ring. Because in the end of the day, you don't know. You really don't know. You have to really question yourself, because marriage is a big thing. It's not just something small. No, you're going to stick with this person for life. And honestly, in those situations, I'm more of like, when I ask those questions to myself, I was like, no, this is not the person I want to be with. This person is bad for me. This person is not good for me. I don't see a future. I don't see us growing. I don't see this. I don't see that. So in that point, I think people should really think.
No, but you're right. You get me? Like, that's why I say everything is spoken and everything needs to be said out loud, even if the truth hurts, even if you're not gonna get the right answer or the answer that you expect or the answer that you think you're gonna get. It's better to get the harsh truth and then move on and be happy and find your true happiness with someone else, even if the person you think you were gonna marry tells you no, I'm here just for, you know, passing time, or I do expect you to get like us to get married, but not right now, maybe in 10 years, maybe in 20. Like, if you already have 10, he gives you another 10 years, that's 20 years there. So it's not something that you should be waiting on and expect, oh yeah, he's gonna do it anytime between those years. It could be tomorrow, it could be in 3 years, or in the actual 10-year mark. So if you're willing to wait along for that person, props to you. And if not, set them free and be free.
Like I said before, honestly, I think there's so much more to life than marriage. But yeah, there's some people whose goal in life is to get married. So if that's for you, that's for you. And for those who think like me, kudos to you as well. To each their own. That is my motto. I just hope everyone lives happily ever after with their partner, whether it's married or not. And please, 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 if you are in a toxic relationship, run, get help. There are many resources. Reach out to someone. Do not stay in a toxic, abusive relationship. Well, I think that's all for today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this episode of If My Mama Knew. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. You can stream our podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, Google, Pandora, and YouTube. I'm Minnie. Signing off. This is Gigi,
Bye.
Cece,
Bye.
and Cookie.
Bye.